Hey there, and welcome back to Crystal Talks. It's Katie and Cynthia here. Today, we are going to talk about crystal grids, how to make one, steps to make one, common designs, kind of giving you this information so that you can go out and start pulling grids into your manifestation, your intention setting, and just kind of using your crystals in this really cool way. So, a crystal grid is really simply an arrangement of energetically charged crystals. It's an arrangement of crystals. We use sacred geometry in the arrangement a lot of times, but sometimes you can just really create your own design with the crystals as well. This is a way of harnessing the magic of crystals, the energy, the vibration of crystals to encourage the manifestation of your intention. So, you really want to think about what your intention is as the first step. Choose an intention. And then from that intention, choose crystals that align with that intention and choose the design or shape of the grid based on that intention too. So you're really kind of taking that intention, which is the very first step, and then aligning everything else with that. You can even incorporate essential oils with this as well. And Cynthia will talk a little bit more about that. So once you have your intention chosen, once you have the crystals chosen and the shape or design chosen, you want to cleanse the space. Where are you going to set this grid up? It's really great to set it up somewhere that you're going to see it a lot, that you can come back to it a lot to really reiterate that intention, to really recharge it with your intention. But somewhere safe, somewhere sacred, somewhere that's not going to get messed up, somewhere that it can be an energetically sacred space for this crystal grid to kind of work its magic. And you also want to cleanse the crystals. Cleanse the crystals, clear out any old intentions, any energy that maybe just was absorbed by the crystals, anything like that. Cleanse and clear the crystals. And then you're going to place the crystals in your grid design. Based on whatever you chose, place them in the design. And then you want to activate and program. So we'll talk about activating and programming that crystal grid a little later. Another important thing to remember is it's really great to use quartz points around your grid, kind of 6 points around the points of your grid, the 6 points of the design, just to amplify and energize your grid. So one of the first steps is choosing your crystal grid design. And like I said, you can create your own design, but there's also really some magic in sacred geometry. And so Cynthia is going to share with us some common crystal grid designs that harness sacred geometry a little bit.
Thank you, Katie. As you get into crystal grids, you'll find the patterns that are available, at least I do, absolutely fascinating. There's such a variety of, it's just so many that you can choose from. You might find it overwhelming at first, but don't let it stop you. Just pick one that calls to you. Some of the common ones, as we said, the ones you've probably run into at some point, include, for example, the seed of life. It's one you would probably choose if your intention had to do with growth, transformation, balance, connection, healing, those type of as you said, transformative intentions. And, so you would look at those intentions and, set them and choose crystals that would align, and essential oils as well that would align with them. A good one for that is the quartz, which of course is the clear quartz, which is already on your grid. One of my favorites is golden healer, which is amazing for for healing and transformation. Then another common one that's well known is flower of life. It's would be chosen perhaps if you were working on balance, harmony, getting those things aligned, renewal, manifestation, creativity, some really intriguing topics there. And the flower of life would be a powerful companion to use in your grids. The creativity, for example, a good crystal to choose would be carnelian. Um, it has that spark. It gives you energy and fosters your creativity. And along with that, you might diffuse some perhaps wild orange in your room and have a double duo packed energy session. The Merkaba is Merkaba. Am I pronouncing that correct, Katie? It sounds
I
like it's
believe
funny coming
so.
out of my mouth, funny.
I believe
Um, I say it all the time, but for today it sounds funny.
so.
Um, that one is great for spiritual protection if you're working on healing again, balancing your masculine, feminine energy. Um, I might suggest frankincense again for that one. Certainly, the spiritual protection, healing, and balancing. And then the last one I'm going to bring up today is Metron's cube, which I personally find absolutely fascinating. It's so aligned with that sacred geometry. It's fabulous for cleansing negative energy, spiritual knowledge and wisdom, spiritual growth, chakra clearing, and clarity. So, and you again pick your intention, pick your crystals, and either use some essential oils on you or diffuse it in the room and let the magic happen.
I love it. I just had this intuitive thought as you were talking. Another way to use the essential oils might be to have kind of like a cloth, like a piece of fabric or something, and place a couple drops of essential oil on the fabric and put it underneath of your crystals. Because then you kind of get the aroma when you're around your grid, right? But you also have the vibration of those oils, of that magic that nature provides, and you're harnessing it with the crystals, not only for you to have the aroma within you, but to carry that energy within the crystal grid as well.
Perfect.
Might be a cool way. Um, I love also Metron's Cube. That's one of my favorite grids to create. Um, I make a lot of chakra grids with Metron's Cube. Really, really love that as well. So I agree with Cynthia, one of my favorites on that one. So how do we activate your crystal grid? The first part is always that intention. Like, that is the essential piece, is really choosing your intention, and you want to charge your grid with that intention. This is step one to activating your intention. So maybe you say your intention out loud to the crystal grid. Maybe you write it on a piece of paper and put it under that center crystal, to really kind of harness that intention through the crystals, through the grid. And this is something you want to kind of come back and do daily, or at least every couple of days. Revisit that intention, recharge, reactivate that crystal grid with the intention that you're choosing. Quartz points are another great way to kind of activate your crystal grid. Like I said earlier, surrounding your grid with quartz points, but also taking a point and kind of connecting the crystal points through your crystals. So if you have a point, then you touch the first point, bring it into the center crystal, bring it back out. Bring it in, bring it out, and kind of create a star shape with your crystals, kind of connecting all of the energy of the crystals together. Great way to activate your crystal grid as well. Visualize that intention. Sit at your crystal grid, hands over the grid, or just kind of sitting near it, visualizing and almost imagining that visualization you have is being sent into the crystals, being sent into that energy and pulled around into your world to manifest it. And again, you want to do these things daily or every couple of days, really activating the energy of your grid. It's really kind of something like you create this grid, you're connected to this energy to really bring your intention to life. And sometimes we all get in negative moments. We have thought patterns that come up, and you don't want to cloud your crystal grid with that. So anytime you know that you've had these moments of, swirling thoughts, anxiety, stress that is around this intention, go back to your grid. take a moment to kind of cleanse it out. Imagine or use an actual quartz point, white light sending through all of the grid, all of your crystals to clear it out. Even use that on yourself, that white light, to kind of clear it out, and then recharge it with your intention. Come back to that center point of your intention and really let the grid spread its energy and magic through your world. So crystal grids can be really, really fun to create, really, get into your creativity, get into that magic. If you visit ewbms.com, the blog post for this video will have some images of crystal grids and a few more like crystal combinations to create a grid for you to kind of explore. And also, you can find some different crystal combinations that we've put together specifically for certain intentions. If it's like the root chakra, the sacral chakra, or if it has to do with your zodiac sign and astrology, or other kind of fun different things you might be manifesting. So ewbms.com, check it out and see what we have to offer. And we will be back here next week with another amazing video. So we'll see you then.